prize money. But this is the difference between absolutely nothing and something.
All right, well, down here in the bottom left-hand corner, as the red Protoss, it will be none other than Gruuby tying it up in the last game in that 40-minute macro fest.
Yeah.
Going the distance and really proving that he has what it takes to go up against his opponent, who's going to be spawning up here at the 12 o'clock position. It is none other than Slayer's Ryung.
Ah, yeah, I had to think about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to. Not Sella.
I was
Why
like,
would he
I was
use
trying
that
to like
ID?
brain power it to you. Huh. Okay, so lots of tricky things that you can do on Metropolis because there's just so many places to hide buildings. I don't think that Gruuby is going to go for any of the sort of crazy all-ins that we've seen done on here, like Void Rays and the like.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really Gruuby style, and I don't think it's Ryung style.
Although
at
I
all.
don't, man, Gruuby can be such an intelligent player in doing, like, he's not afraid to do what he has to do to win.
Ryan Thompson, our producer, checking in, not telling us anything about Wizards this time, though. Doesn't have any updates for us, though. Is there anything? What's going on in the main stage, Ryan? MC taking game
wow.
1 against the RG.
That's big.
Pretty sick matches going on here.
Oh, man. So if you'd like to skip the early game of this stream, you can go head over to the main stream, unless they're also not that far into Game 2 quite yet. All right.
Well, stay here with us.
Yeah. Hang out. Oh, on just main? Okay, so there is going to be a bonus match. As we said before, that is final confirmation. It will be up on the main stage.
Sweet.
Main stream. Central stream.
So that means the stream will not be ending at the, I think it was scheduled to have the last match start at 8. Yeah. Now the last match will begin at 9.
No. Other way around. So, like, it was scheduled to finish at 8, and now it will instead start at 8.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. My mistake.
I mean, it'll probably be closer to something like 7:30 or like that. The goal is still to end not terribly far after 8 o'clock.
Right. Well, not too much going on here. Ryung is going to go for that gasless expand once again, and I do suspect Gruuby will be going for that Nexus off of 1 gate.
Yeah, I mean, adding on his gas now. Oh,
Well, pretty early second gas.
yeah.
Nothing too ordinary, though. Just means he'll probably probably be going and favoring those sentries early on. See right here.
Almost able to micro out that second Zealot hit before the SCV walks straight through it. Staying active on that. Now Ryung was able to get the information that he wanted. He sees the second gas started as he starts his expansion.
Yeah. Getting that Zealot out. What is he chrono boosting? Not chrono boosting anything right now. I figured he'd be getting that Stalker out as well as the side core pretty quick.
Where's he going to build the Stargate?
Think he's going Stargate?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
He's
No,
gonna
I
put
mean,
down
he's
his
got
Nexus
Warp Gate. That
first.
would be silly. Yeah, he's actually going to put down a Nexus right now and continue saving his chrono boost, though.
And already up to 150 gas here. We'll keep an eye on the production tab, see what he's doing. Sella opening up with that 3 racks, adding on the 2 gas. Rob?
At the Zelnaga Watchtower, is that yeah, just a Zealot hanging out, getting some vision. Using a bit of his gas to get out Sentry here. And now using his chrono boost on his Warp Gate tech.
Yeah. Going up to 3 gates, going to be adding on that robotics facility pretty soon, I gotta suspect. Because this is basically what we saw last game from him. The SCV denied scouting info.
He's still actually staying on the very high end of Warp Gate, or excuse me, of chrono boosts. You're like, yeah, what? What do you mean? How is he staying on the high end of Warp Gate?
Might
That's a great question. How comes the Robo? Ooh, he's done some pretty creative stuff with Robos and with Warp Prisms.
Yeah, he has. That's a good point. Maybe he'll doing some Warp Prism drops here. He is close by air. This SCV sneaks by. The Sentry task at trying to take him out.
He actually is going to have enough gas to do something with a Warp Prism and Sentries. Oh, man, just barely misses that force field. Unfortunate for him. Now, is the SCV going to be able to make it up the ramp?
Oh, Gruuby
and
is
see
trying
what's
to
going on. Oh, man, he sees all of those sentries out there. He's going to see the Robo building as well, so the cat is out of the bag. How is Ryung going to respond to this? He actually just needs to keep a couple units in the back of his base.
Man, that was like a trail of fail coming out for Gruuby, trying to stop the SCV. He tries to get it over here with the Sentry as it goes up, tries to block it with some probes over here, and they miss completely. But regardless, he does take it out, but it was a little bit too late, as Ryung knows everything going on in Gruuby's bases. You can go into the view and see just that.
He's seen everything.
He really has.
Have you seen? I can't remember.
What?
I can't remember which skit that was from. It's the guy. Whatever. Anyway, we've got the reactor finishing up over here. He's also adding on his factory so that he can get up to that starport, start pumping out the much-needed medevacs. Ah, yes. Patrick Stewart from Extras. Thank you. Oh, man.
Never
That was
seen
exactly what it's from. It's this skit where, like, Patrick Stewart is talking about a script that he wrote to Ricky Gervais.
Ah, okay. I'll have to check it out.
And it's all about him having the power to, like, remove people's clothes without their consent. Highly recommend the clip.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You watch some weird
But
stuff.
he's seen everything.
Forge being added on here for Gruuby. He was going to add on a second forge, but I don't know what he wanted to add on a pylon after that as well. We'll see, though. I think he's just going to stick with one at the moment. Extended Thermaland started. That's what he was actually saving the minerals for, to get that Colossus up and running with that extra range, 6 to 9. Observer seeing everything here in Ryung's base. Are you still thinking about that?
Every time I hear that, it's going to make me laugh for the rest of forever. Oh, man. Gruuby adding on 2 gates over here in response. Actually, probably not in response. You just need to add those anyway. Now he's starting to blow down those rocks. Eliminates them from the game. Oh, man.
Or something
a sick first blood. I mean, he's gotten a couple SCVs, but that was the first significant casualty there. Metropolis, really the thing bleeding.
Yeah, man. Rocks, they have feelings too, I guess. I don't know where to go.
Hey, man, you hear about the guy that made up the pet rock became like a bajillionaire almost instantly just from like calling it a pet rock?
He never claimed the rock to have feelings, though. He just said, here's a rock, you can take care of this if you want. Like,
I mean, how do you know? You don't know what people, I mean, it's not what he said the rock was, it was what you made the rock into.
The reason, okay, I'm just going to, full disclosure, Sundance is actually the guy who made the pet rock. That's how MLG got founded. I know firsthand. Drop here from Ryung, 2 medevac drop as well. Some forces outside. He might run into the natural with that. Already loading back up. Did not like what he saw here with the factory. And that attack will be deflected by Gruuby. He's also got to sneak in a third here. A great decision. We'll see how long it goes unnoticed from Ryung.
Gruuby, if he's able to establish that third and hold on to it, he's going to be in a great spot. Ryung, on the other hand, has also established a third of his own. So it's just going to turn into, I mean, a bit of a waiting game, because I don't think that Ryung's going to be staying too active out on the field. He's got those 2 dropships over there still, so he'll do what he can with those, but Gruuby just needs to keep that drop out of his base, and he'll actually be about on par as far as the macro game goes.
Marine out here scouting for Ryung, and he will eventually see that third base. I'm pretty sure this pylon saw him, although it was building when that passed, so he will not go and try to stop that. Gruuby deciding to push right now. Colossus count at 2, and he will make it across the map. What is the Viking count currently at? A total of 2. So that's going to be a good push here, but as Ryung sees that, he's going to fall back here. Well, try to stop the SCV, but the SCV don't care and runs right behind that force field.
Once again, right? Because we saw that earlier as well.
Yeah.
Like the whiffed force fields. Gruuby's like, I got energy for days.
Yeah.
I can make it rain force fields.
Laziest, well, he has seen it, but Marine could go in there and be somewhat annoying.
Oh, wow. Ryung now starting to move across the center
no,
of the map with his
terrible.
army. Oh, man, those Colossus are so far out of position. Now he's going to be able to hopefully walk them back up into his main before those Vikings are able to connect. The Viking count is not high enough to kill those Colossus undefended. He's got enough Stalkers out there that actually this could be decent for Gruuby. He needs to move a few of those Stalkers back. Ryung getting in a couple pot shots, but not enough to get rid of the shields.
The laziest Marine I ever saw down here for Ryung over the third of Gruuby. He's just
Hey, that's the security guard Marine, all right? He can only observe and report.
What's a good security guard name?
Earl.
This is Earl the Marine, I guess. I guess that's a good security guard. Maybe his name's, is it Paul Blart? Is that
JP.
JP? Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe in a future.
Patrice.
Patrice, your middle name. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Be a good. Also a hairdresser, I guess Patrice could be.
Hey, it could be either of those. That Marine could have been either of those things with how much damage it was doing to that Nexus.
I guess hairdressers don't do much damage to Nexus,
Well, I
guys.
mean, Nexus don't have hair, man. It's simple. Got Ryung keeping
You got a
control of
point.
the center of the map.
I'm just shaking my head.
As you do.
A drop here now for Ryung. Going to be taking out some of these outlying pylons. Gruuby could actually warp in over here if he wants to try to defend against that. But really doesn't want to move too far from his base. Already doing the tech swap. Viking count already up to 10. Does not have Psystorm coming. Hasn't even begun researching it yet. And this is a pretty passive game. 13 units being killed, and we're 15 minutes in, quickly approaching a 200 supply. This is basically 2 players on the line, tournament life here. Top 12, so important here at Spring Arena number 2. And they are really not wanting to be the player to make that mistake.
Now we have Gruuby adding on 4 gates. I think 2 of those are slightly ahead of the rest. He's also just researching Storm, so he's likely not going to have it for the engagement that is about to occur as Ryung maxes out. Now Ryung getting in there. He was stimming ahead. Oh, wow. I'm surprised that he didn't turn around and just try to pick off a couple of those stalkers. I'd like to take a look at that Viking count. Oh, man, 14 Vikings. So if Gruuby is only marginally out of position, he is going to lose Colossi.
Gruuby in the middle of the map. Ryung scanning that, sees the army and falling back. I like that he has this little safety drop so that when the fight, or just now, but he's going to be, is he going to get the feedback? He would be able to kill it.
Oh,
if
wow,
he
those
is.
cannons in such a sick spot.
Oh, and he gets it.
Man.
Great defense there for drops. Gruuby really set up for that after the first match.
Oh, that was really nice for Gruuby. It's all about just taking those small victories. Man, even able to get in there and pick off one of those medevacs as well as a few extra units. Now the Colossi are currently getting hammered by those Vikings. Now the Vikings are going to be slightly out of position as long as he uses the force fields to separate the ground army from the Vikings. Yes, this is exactly what Gruuby needs. He's playing it beautifully. Just needs to get down that Viking count before the engagement so that the Colossi can do their job.
Templar count is at 2. And I think we saw maybe a Zealot over there go over to the soon-to-be 4th base of Ryung. This match is really getting kind of crazy. Once again, I just need to restate. Whoever loses this is out of the tournament and is going to be only top 16. The winner will be guaranteed top 12. So important for these players to get that pool play spot. And the money starts at top 8. So here we go.
Oh, wow.
No, the
Gets in the
EMPs.
EMP. Oh, man. No feedbacks able to land there. But now Gruuby can still make this happen with this engagement. Actually, that army is in a very strange spot right now. The Colossi are getting in there, but the Vikings are destroying the Colossi. Now, Ryung just needs to make this battle last long enough to get those Colossi out of there. Oh, what's the HP on that last Colossi?
Pretty high.
Okay, actually, yeah, that's going to be
Gruuby actually just won that fight, and supplies-wise here,
Ooh.
for the Army, 78 to 69. Planetary Fortress over here at the 4th. 3-3, about halfway complete for both of these players, and Gruuby's going to start adding on a ton of High Templar across the field as his 4th base is up and running.
So,
but he's going to have to deal with this little drop for a while, but he's actually going across the map.
yeah, this actually might be a bit of an overextension from Gruuby. Now, that last battle is what we see when you have an equal upgrades, or your equal upgrades, and your zealots are able to attack
Right.
the ground army.
Right.
Because really, I mean, he keeps making sure that Ryung gets put in such an awkward spot where his ground army is forced to engage so far away from his Vikings, but still not too far that the Colossus aren't able to attack. Oh. And Ryung's doing what he can when he can, but those the force fields just have been so nice for Gruuby. Now it's looking like both the players 3-3 is going to finish up at just about the same time. That Stalker is chipping away at Ryung's 4th. There he is, stimming over to finish that off. And we've got a second Robo being added on from Gruuby.
Yeah, Gruuby is preparing to tech switch to whatever he comes out on top with in this fight. The Viking count, only at 2. They are being rebuilt. The upgrade for Ryung still at +1.
Oh, wow. Does he only have 1 starport? And does it, like...
let's look here in the base. Yeah,
yeah,
I think
1
that's only
starport with
one.
a reactor.
Uh-oh, Gravitic Drive coming in. We are going to be seeing some Warp Prism. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. If he can get into the main with a couple of Zealots, we've seen that do wonders for a ton of Protosses in this matchup here at Spring Arena number 2.
Man, So he's just starting to continue Viking production, and now having only like 2 or 3 Vikings, if Gruuby can force an engagement while he doesn't have enough Vikings, like we can see right now, Ryung is actually forced to just continue pumping units, because otherwise he's like just waiting for his 1 starport, what's about to be 2 starports, to build Vikings before he engages. And really during that time, Gruuby's just getting enough energy that he's going to be in a great spot to push. Gruuby also staying aggressive with his base advancement, getting out there, taking a 6th.
And looks like he does not want to commit to this just yet. Yeah, Ryung stopping those stalkers from harassing this, but now it looks like maybe he is going to go in.
Man, that is so many zealots. Wait, is that the entirety of his army? Where are all the... Yeah,
I don't know. I thought that army
looked...
looked... Okay. Yeah, I thought the army
There's
looked kind of
more.
small. He's got
Oh,
zealots and High Templar spread across the map at all of his different expansions. And because of that, his army is quite small. But let's look real quick, see how many gates he currently has
10.
under his control to be able to warp in pretty quickly here.
Yeah, he's got a...
Oh, yeah, right. 10.
Should be 10. He keeps
Correct.
him on 0.
And is this going to be the fight here to decide this match? Psystorm's going down, so many of them.
He just needs to be able to weaken those Vikings. Oh, man, and the Ghosts are getting in there. You're getting frisky, stopping them. Stopping the High Templar from being able to morph into those Archons before the engagement. And now Gruuby is just going to fall back.
Yeah, and a smart decision here. This one lone Templar is kind of screwed as the entire army is right there, and it is going to take it out.
Oh, no. The carnage on the Colossi now gets it down to about 25% total HP remaining. Also, just finishing up those shield upgrades. Now, we saw that the longer that the game went on, the more shield upgrades that he was able to handle, the better that Gruuby fared in engagements. Oh, man, that's going to be a positional planetary fortress.
Oh, wow. We're actually going to see Ryung switch over to Banshees here, getting the personal... Oh, no, that's for Cloak. Yeah, but he is getting a ton of starports right off the bat. Fusion Core.
Oh,
is
man,
this going to
BCs.
be what we saw last night? Planetary's now going up in the middle. I think Ryung was watching MVP versus Squirtle last night. Maybe we'll get lucky enough to see a huge Archon toilet, but 7
we need to see the
gateways.
fleet beacon, man.
Yeah, it's
That's
still
the next
no
step.
fleet beacon yet, but this game might turn into one of the most insane with all of these planetaries about to be thrown down. BC's on the way. Gruuby's going to have to react accordingly here and get some Stargates of his own. He's really going to start needing those Void Rays once the BCs come out, but the game might not even last that long as maybe Gruuby trying to force a fight here.
Yeah, well, he obviously doesn't want two planetary fortresses splitting the map in favor of his opponent.
Right, and it's also it's such a hard place to engage because these Vikings are going to be able to sit right here in the middle. EMP's going down on the army.
Oh.
No Storm allowed to go off there, but he gets one of them. And will he get the feedbacks? The Vikings moving forward, sniping some more.
Oh, wow. If we can actually see Gruuby get in there and finish off a lot of those Vikings before the engagement without killing too many Colossi, Gruuby's going to be in a good spot, although we can see now Ryung has the upper hand here, moving in, continuing his assault across the center of the map. But Ryung continuing to play it safe. He's just waiting for those command centers to finish off so that he can establish those planetary fortresses.
And we have that Warp Prism still up here for Gruuby. I'm getting kind of stressed out, man.
Yes. Yep. That's what happens. Now, he's got so many gateways, so he's actually able to make a ton of units. Look at that float. Does it count as float when you can use it all in one warp-in round?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to... I guess you can ask Mike when you get back to the office on Monday and see what he says about that, because I don't know the answer.
Yeah, float, totally a term coined by Blizzard.
Exactly.
Oh, wow, nothing out there to repair that planetary fortress, but I think the damage that it needs to do has already been done just about. Oh, man, he's able to land so many storms.
doing?
Ryung caught so far out of position, losing so much of his army, down to only 130 supply remaining, and now we see Gruuby absolutely capitalizing on that. He's warping in 13 additional Zealots as well as a couple High Templar. We have Archons following in as well.
Oh, man.
Ryung's going to have some trouble repopping after that. Look how low his minerals are.
What just happened? That was like Nuke going down. That's going to stop the attack, but Ryung with the worst move command here in the middle of this game. He had such a nice defense setup. Even Whiterall would be impressed in the middle of the map.
What a frustrating way to lose your army after a 30-minute macro game.
And 50 supply ahead now. Here is the Behemoth reactor. Does he even have BCs coming out? No, he does not.
Well, he's
Rob's
got
left.
enough supply to do it now.
Yeah, and he's just kind of throwing everything at this army because he can warp in with so much stuff here using Blink Stalkers to get up into the base. I don't know, man. Here comes the Warp Prism. He's going to be able to warp now into the production facility.
Yeah, and that Warp Prism getting down over there. Now he's got so much gas that Gruuby can actually just warp in tons of High Templar and make Archons. And he's probably fine. Continuing to increase.
Yeah, he never even started the BCs. That's how bad.
Well, he was
that
supply capped.
Yeah,
he was supply capped and then lost his entire army, and then had to get units out super quick to try to defend. And now Gruuby is just hammering that nail into the coffin, sealing Ryung's fate. Ryung forced to tap out. Gruuby advances into the top 12. A huge congratulations for Gruuby. He must be ecstatic after that series.
Looked out the window and Gruuby actually spinning around in his chair. Can't believe it. Ryung with the worst move command in history. I gotta say, that was painful to watch after a very close 29-minute game. So Gruuby is now top 12. Ryung eliminated from the tournament. Huge congrats to Gruuby. I'm gonna go tell him myself after this. Coming up next, guys, on this stream, it is going to be Anori going up against Gruuby, the PvP specialist. Anori against Gruuby, a very good PvPer in his own right. And we will be right back with that match at the top of the hour. See you guys then.